Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, Bachelor Show. You've probably heard the rumors swirling around that Charles Ling, the standout fan favorite from the Golden Bachelorette, is set to be the next Golden Bachelor. At first glance, it seems like a natural progression. He charmed audiences with his charisma, seemed genuinely invested in finding love, and carried himself with a warmth that resonated with fans across the board. Yet despite all this, I no longer believe Charles Ling will step into the role as the next Golden Bachelor. And here's why. When we think of the ideal candidate for the Golden Bachelor, a few qualities come to mind. The individual must be relatable, charming, and above all, embody the hopes and aspirations of a mature audience seeking love stories that feel authentic. Charles certainly checks many of those boxes. However, several recent developments challenge the assumption that he's a lock for this coveted role. First, let's talk about the buzz surrounding Charles. His rise to prominence was meteoric. Fans of the Golden Bachelorette latched onto him almost immediately. But with attention comes scrutiny. In the months since the show ended, whispers about his personal life have started to surface. It's not that he's done anything scandalous, but rather his post-show activities don't align with what producers typically look for in a leading man. For one, Charles has been notably reserved about his dating life after the show. While some fans might interpret this as him holding out for a bigger opportunity, it's equally plausible that he's simply not interested in the spotlight anymore. Public figures often find themselves at a crossroads after a major reality TV stint, and many opt for a quieter life away from cameras. Charles has hinted at this in subtle ways during interviews, mentioning how exhausting the process of constant public attention can be. Then there's the matter of what producers prioritize when selecting a lead for the Golden Bachelor. Over the years, it's become clear that they want someone with a compelling backstory, but also someone whose life circumstances align with the format of the show. Charles, while captivating, might not fit this mold as seamlessly as other candidates. For example, rumors suggest that he's recently reconnected with old friends and family, focusing more on rebuilding those relationships rather than diving back into the reality TV dating pool. Another factor is the audience's perception. While Charles is a fan favorite, there's a difference between being beloved and being the right fit for the lead role. Some viewers have expressed concerns that Charles might lack the level of vulnerability required to carry a season as the focal point. Being the Golden Bachelor means more than just being charming. It requires an openness and willingness to let the audience see every side of you, flaws and all. While Charles showed glimpses of this on the Golden Bachelorette, there's debate about whether he could sustain that level of emotional transparency throughout an entire season. On top of that, let's consider the competition. Charles isn't the only contender for the next Golden Bachelor. Several other names have been floated, including individuals with equally compelling stories and unique personalities. Some of these potential leads might have a more immediate connection to audiences or bring a fresh perspective to the franchise. While Charles undoubtedly made his mark, the producers may decide that someone else better represents the direction they want the show to take. Now let's address the rumors head-on. There's been speculation that Charles is already in talks with producers. While it's true that many past contestants remain in touch with the franchise, this doesn't necessarily mean they're being groomed for the lead role. Often, these interactions are more about maintaining relationships rather than planning future collaborations. Charles' name might be in the mix, but that doesn't mean he's the frontrunner. It's also worth noting the role of timing. Charles' season of The Golden Bachelorette aired not too long ago, and there's something to be said about overexposure. If producers feel that audiences need a break from Charles, or that his story has already been fully explored, they may choose to pivot to someone new. This isn't a reflection of Charles' likability, but rather a strategic decision to keep the franchise feeling fresh and unpredictable. Moreover, the narrative surrounding Charles has evolved in ways that might not align with the franchise's goals. Initially, he was seen as the perfect romantic lead, someone who could captivate audiences with his quest for love. But as more details about his personal journey have emerged, some fans have started to question whether he's truly ready for reality TV stars to face this kind of scrutiny. But it does raise questions about whether Charles is the best choice for the role at this point in time. Finally, let's consider Charles himself. Being the Golden Bachelor isn't just an opportunity, it's a commitment. The lead must be willing to put their life on hold, open themselves up to public scrutiny, and navigate the emotional complexities of dating multiple people on national television. Charles has always struck me as someone who values authenticity and deep connections, and he might feel that the format of the show doesn't align with his approach to relationships. In the end, while Charles Ling will always hold a special place in the hearts of the Golden Bachelorette fans, the role of the Golden Bachelor is a unique challenge that requires a specific type of individual. Based on everything we've seen and heard, it seems increasingly unlikely that Charles will be the next Golden Bachelor. That doesn't diminish his impact on the franchise or the admiration fans have for him, but it does suggest that the producers might be looking in a different direction. Of course, anything can happen in the world of reality TV. Producers have surprised us before, and they might do so again. But for now, I believe it's time to temper expectations and consider the possibility that Charles's journey in the Golden franchise may have already reached its peak. Whether he chooses to return to the spotlight in another capacity or continues to live his life away from the cameras, one thing is certain: Charles Ling has left an indelible mark on fans, and that's something no rumor or speculation can ever take away. I've changed my mind and no longer believe that the Golden Bachelorette fan favorite Charles Ling will be the next Golden Bachelor, contrary to rumors. Charles, a 66-year-old retired data analyst, competed on the Golden Bachelorette Season 1 with lead Joan Vassos at the behest of his 2 daughters. Charles had lost his wife of 36 years 6 years prior to going on the show. It became obvious throughout his 4 weeks on the show that Charles still had a lot of pain and healing to work through from that major loss. However, by the end of the season, Charles got answers he needed about his wife's final moments and was able to gain a greater sense of peace and resolve. Charles was joined in the Golden Bachelorette by 23 other single golden men. In the end, season-long frontrunner Chalk Chapel was Joan's winner, and the two left the experience engaged. The Golden Bachelorette received wide praise from viewers, and I watched Charles become the season's breakout star, leading me to believe he should be the next lead. However, I think differently now. I felt Bachelor Nation's Charles was extremely charismatic from the moment he stepped out of the limo and greeted Joan. Charles Not in Charge quickly became a beloved one-liner in the season, and I grew even more fond of Charles because of his comedic relief, genuine nature, and profound love for his late wife. I saw Charles also gain a group of new best friends in his competition, as he was loved by all. Joan even told Charles she loved him upon his elimination. Come the men tell-all, the crowd had strong adoration for Charles, with many calling for him to be the next golden lead. I noticed that Charles was also coined the internet's boyfriend, adding to the notion for me that Charles should be the next lead. I was joined in my thoughts about Charles by the Golden Bachelorette fans online as well. On Reddit, News/Pop-Punk started a thread about protecting Charles at all costs, with echoed sentiments like mine. At the Men Tell All, Charles was confronted with questions about his thoughts on becoming the Golden Bachelorette's biggest sensation, and I noticed he was taken aback. I'm kind of thrilled. It's something I probably never expected. Honestly, this is a surprise. I would say a big surprise. I never thought I'd be loved to that extent. It's kind of a phenomenon. I'm just grateful, and I thank those fans. Upon Bachelor Nation's call at the Men Tell All for Charles to be the next Golden Bachelor, Charles offered a more timid response. I'll see what will happen and what I should do, but not at this moment. To me, Charles seemed intimidated by the idea of becoming Bachelor Nation's next lead. I know the role is life-changing, and I think Charles and his sensitive nature would struggle to fulfill everything the role requires. My thoughts are also shared by other Golden fans. Redditor Weekly Mag started a thread weighing whether Charles could take on role, and a popular general response was prevalent. Come back to our channel for all your updates. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel.